Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rodeo Time, the podcast. We have in the house the world champ, Mr. Shane Hanchey. He is here for the podcast, but he's also here with some amazing crawfish.
Yes, sir.
And people say yours is the best.
Yeah, I know. That's why I named it after Taylor's barrel horse. I named it Beau's Boil and Go, and that was the horse that she set the arena record on at the NFR. Not many people know that. So I named it after that because I don't want people come and eat my crawfish because it's Shane Hanchey's crawfish. Like, I want it to be good, and I want you to come back because the crawfish is good and it's good quality. So I named it like that. In hindsight, I probably should have put a little bit of my name into it, but like I said, it's gotten that reputation where people like it for the quality and the taste, and that's why I named it what I did.
It's bad to the bone. Yeah. How many different crawfish bowls a year do y'all do?
Oh shoot, 40.
And where are you out of?
So we're out of Carmine, Texas, right there in between Houston and Austin, on the other side of Brenham.
Right close to Garrison Gable.
My
You know
man,
Garrison?
he rides horses for me.
Dude, he is the man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Taylor was
Yeah.
at College Station and he was in Snook. Yeah.
And so Garrison's right
Did
there.
she keep a
in
horse
Burton.
at Kermit's?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Garrison's right there, and I'm bringing him a horse Monday or Tuesday of next
That's
week.
what he said. He helped us work cattle this last week.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great
It's all
guy.
coming back to me now.
Yeah.
It's only been 4 days. I should
Yeah.
remember that. But
No,
yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, Beau's Boil and Go. That's us, and we're completely mobile. 2 trailers, zip around. We can get anywhere.
Have you tried his seasoning?
I haven't. No.
Dude, he rides horses for you and he hasn't given you a bottle? Bro. Anyways, he's got this seasoning, G's seasoning.
You made it?
It's the best in the world.
Really?
Yeah, you should next time when you
I'm gonna have
do
to
that
get some.
horse swap,
Yeah, I'm gonna
get him
get
to
some.
get you some.
I'm gonna do it.
But Beau's Boil and Go. Yeah. Spelled Go, spelled a little
Yeah,
Louisiana-ish.
Geaux. Yeah.
And it's the best crawfish. We're about to get it. So y'all look up our man. I'd like to thank Texas Precious Metals for bringing this podcast. I'm about to gift him one right after the intro music. Pow pow. Welcome. We got the man, Shane Hanchey, world champ, in the house. Yeah, we're not calf roping today though.
No, we're doing a little different deal. Huh?
Yeah, we're boiling crawfish. So yeah, you brought the old a different trailer.
Yeah, the food wagon.
Yeah, you pull a different wagon.
Yeah.
Before we get started though, I don't give these to every guest,
Okay.
but
Perfect.
they sponsor the
Yeah.
oh, you know them?
Yeah.
Texas
They
Precious
sponsor-
Metals?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the PRCA.
Yep. They have a lot to do with the Sioux Falls too, the Governor's Cup and all that.
Oh, really?
They sponsor Riley Webb and Josie Connor. So yeah, I'm somewhat familiar.
Well, do you have
I
a
don't.
silver coin? Now you do.
Now I do.
Yeah, Dale Brisby was the first one to give you
I
one.
appreciate
Right out of,
that.
like, I think Texas Precious Metals. I'm a little bit of gold guy.
Yeah.
Do you like gold?
Yeah.
Like Austin Powers? I have like a few ounces of gold. I'm not
Yeah.
like a,
I have
That-
one thing that's gold, but that's about it.
yeah, that gold buckle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that real gold in there?
Surely. I
Surely.
would assume. I mean,
They're expensive to replace, aren't they?
yeah, that's what they've said. Montana Silversmith does a great job, and I've seen a lot of the older ones, and the older ones, I mean, they all just hold their value, and they look awesome.
They look awesome.
Mhm. Yeah.
You got 2 of them or 3 of them?
One.
You got 1. I thought you had 2 and going for 3.
Yeah, one's not enough for sure, but 1/10 of a second in 2 different years cost me 2 of them. Yeah. 10th round, 2019. If I would have been 7 flat, win the round outright in the 10th round, I'd have won it. I was 7-1. I split the round. 2020, 10th round. If I'm 7-9 in the 10th round, I win a gold buckle. I was 8 flat. So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of times I think, man, what could I have done to...
You do think that?
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
especially the older I get,
It's
they're...
impossible not to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting any younger, so... But I'm also grateful for the one. It was an awesome 10 days. That was right when Dale Brisby got going, too.
Yeah. That was back in the day.
Yeah.
No, I remember. Man, I was at Jeremy Melanson's wedding. I officiated his wedding, and that night, you, Tuff, and Trevor all sent me pictures wearing. I'd sent them on the same day, and I was like, these guys will never see my package that I send them, because I was like, dude, they get this stuff all the time. And the three of y'all posted and sent me Trevor just sent me a picture. I don't think he really posted much anyway, but you and Tuff posted. Yeah. And I remember dancing that night at that wedding thinking like, I've made it.
Yeah. I remember
wasn't it 2014?
Yeah, 2014. I sent you a picture of Trevor getting fuel.
Yes.
It's still his contact when he calls me.
That's awesome.
In a Rodeo Time shirt, pumping fuel, because I thought it was so funny that he was pumping my fuel. Yeah. And we were headed to a roping. And, and then 2014, December of 2014, at the NFR is when you came to the Orleans and we were all there. And, I remember I got a picture on my Instagram of 2014. I went back and looked at it last night, and it was Dale Brisby, just fresh out the box, man.
Fresh out the box. Vest, no shirt.
Yeah. Green bill, Rodeo Time hat.
Dude, if I could go back, I would change a lot, but also, like, I wouldn't change. Man. Like, I was just, golly. But, yeah, that was huge for me.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Y'all were a big deal then, just like you're a big deal now.
Well, that was, Trevor was, obviously, this was before Stetson and all that, but Trevor was the king, man. And me and Tuff were right, kind of battling for our gold buckles right there. And, we're still both rodeoing and going strong, and he's doing the fraternity deal now. So, but like I told you yesterday, we still talk quite a bit. I still lean on Trevor for a lot. He's a great guy, like we talked about yesterday, just willing to help.
I was what brought it up yesterday, and this is no offense to anybody that's ever taught me with a rope, because I'm just not that good of a student. But I was telling Shane, you how I watched a 2-minute video from Trevor, and I feel like it was less than 2 minutes. It turned my roping around immensely, and I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine what it would be like. I get to work with Trevor occasionally, the Kid Rock and Rodeo, but I can't imagine going back and having that sort of mentor.
Yeah, I mean, when we talked about it yesterday, it made me think of all the different ways he's helped me. And like I said, horsemanship was one of the big ones for me. But also, like, getting to rodeo with him, like 2013, the year I won the world, me and Tuff went with him and Patrick over the 4th. And it was probably something that when I get done with my career that I'll look back on and be really, really thankful and grateful for. But the things that I learned from him, entering-wise, getting to rodeos, just the little things. How you put your rope in your rope can, like just little intricacies that made him the best.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's so easy to learn from because he explains it in a way that you can understand, and that's a big deal.
Did you know that then when you were in the truck with him?
I mean, obviously I knew what he was and what he had become, and similar in stature. Neither one of us are very big guys, so I always kind of looked up to him as a kid from that standpoint. And his horsemanship, I always knew he rode great horses, and there was a reason. Like we said, you got to learn how to keep them working. You got to learn how to ride each and every one. They all got different buttons. And so, yeah, I was pretty mindful of it. But probably looking back, I could have asked more questions to learn more. But I think we're all kind of like that, looking back on things. But, what I learned from him, and it wasn't just that, but, I mean, I remember 2013 was – I barely made the finals. I say barely. I was on the outside looking in, like the end of the year, and we got to Omaha, which was our big tour finale then, kind of like Sioux Falls is now. And my horse was hurt, and I didn't really have a horse. And he's like, "Hey, just come to the house, ride Rio, and ride up there with me." And so I went over there after Pendleton or whatever, and stayed for a week, rode the horse, got to Omaha. Made the NFR, and it was just like, it's no big deal.
Yeah, it sounds casual, but I bet I bet for Trevor to invite someone into his life like that is a big deal to him.
Yeah,
Like I bet that wasn't just a cavalier decision.
no, I don't think so. I think he knew. I think he knew where I wanted to go goal wise, and I hope he's seen my work ethic that I wanted to be the best. Still do, but he was just like, yeah, let's get over here, let you ride the horse, make sure you're familiar with the horse, because Omaha's it's a similar setup to the Thomas and Mack, a lot of people, and he was like, make sure y'all are both ready.
Whenever I got to interview him a couple years ago, it was the thing that was fascinating to me was his relationship with failure. And I think because I'd always seen him as humble, and connecting those two, I had not made the connection in my head as to like why that also made him successful. And listening to him talk, it was interesting because I would bring up a thought that I thought was common, like maybe getting mad if you lose. And the way he would answer my questions, I could tell he just had not thought about it like that, at least not recently. And anyway, can you think of is that something that you had to learn? Did that come naturally? Did you learn any of that from Trevor? Like how to deal with an L?
For sure. I learned it from him. He told me one thing, that I think is very, very important, but also it's hard for me to show it. But he said, never let them see you lose. Never let them see you sweat. Never let them see you upset about losing. And that's why his whole career, I think he was so even keel. He never let his highs get too high or lows too low.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he was so successful, was because his mindset was just I would assume that's kind of how Michael Jordan was, or Tiger in the midst of his dominant run that they've had, is you never let them see him sweat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. JB says that.
Really?
And then also, I guess to be honest, sometimes I feel obligated to show negative emotion. I guess that's one of the ways that Trevor was complete opposite of what I thought maybe would be common. It's just that I want people to see that I care enough about winning or losing. But that, number one, I'm doing something based on what other people think. But number two, it's just completely opposite of the champ.
Yeah, and I don't think I think being passionate's a great deal too. That's what you'll see me upset when I lose, but I hate losing, and I'm passionate about what I do, But Trevor, he was always playing chess when we were playing checkers type deal, rodeo, and he was always one step ahead of all of us, it seemed like, whether it was what rodeo he was going to next or what horse he had down the pipeline to crack out, when the other one was done or he wanted to sell him or something. So it was always something to watch and be mindful of.
Yeah. He brought up a really good point about how, in basketball, the court's always the same, the goal's the same, the basketball's the same, and your opponent changes. But in rodeo, there may be factors at play that don't give you an opportunity to win. And I feel like that's a fine line because, if you get going down the road too far of making an excuse for yourself, but you don't, if your calf is just zigzagging all over the place, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah. I mean, being realistic is one thing, but also I'm a big proponent or fan of you always have some sort of control. I don't like blaming not winning on anything but myself. But yeah, there is times where there's nothing you can do. Calf's going to kick 10 times out of 10, you run him, or, like you said, run to the left fence or run right hard. There's so many different variables in our sport, for sure. Because like you said, I heard it on one of your podcasts, that there's so many different things that we have to make sure go right to have a win and run, whether it's scoring, riding your horse, roping the neck, setting your go up, getting down, flanking, tying, making sure the calf don't kick, everything within nowadays 7 seconds, and so many different variables that you kind of got to be ready to take on anything at any time.
Yeah, early on, whenever I started making jokes towards rodeo, like, the obvious tendency is as a roughie to make fun of Tommies, but the more I mature as a cowboy and try to, just drag calves in the pen, which is so controlled and slow environment, it makes me I think just the most respected person in the arena is a calf roper, in my opinion.
I'll take that for sure as a compliment, but man, does it probably is. I'm not going to say it's not one of them, but could you imagine heeling a steer in 3.2 seconds or 2 point? I mean, that's good. Yeah, man.
Turning left, like it just seems so simple on paper. Like, yeah, you just turn left and you set up, especially when you're in the branding pen or like a controlled environment. Like, man, all you got to do is like keep your pinky down, blah, blah, blah.
Get that bottom strand
down.
But
golly, when they go left that fast, and then to be able to handle like a rope with a bad handle.
Yeah.
If something doesn't go right.
It's crazy. The team roping is what's all of rodeo has elevated so much since, my rookie year was 2009. And so that's what I was thinking back on the way over here is I've been fortunate to rope against the greats, Cody and Fred and Trevor. Joe was a little bit older. He wasn't rodeoing much when I came in, but just them three guys alone, and then you got Tufts Run and then now Riley Webb's. So it's like from what I've seen, how much rodeo in itself has elevated, like the competition has gotten crazy too. From 1 down to 15, at any given night. So it's going in the right direction for sure.
Man, there are so many bronc riders.
Yeah.
And maybe I see it because like that's of my interns, the ones that are rodeoing the most are bronc riders, Donnie, Carson. I've got some bull riders, but they're not rodeoing as hard. But, helping these bronc riders, I get out there and it's like going to some of the same rodeos, same stock contractors, and a lot of the same horses. Like I haven't been not going hard for that long, you know what I mean? And so, but they're just this new crop of guys. Like you have a guy show up that'll just be 80 some odd points at this Ami rodeo that I've just never even seen or heard of.
Yeah.
And it, to me, has just exploded, and
what do you think that's from? You think, like for us, there's so many junior opens and ropings that kids go to in the kind of fast setup environment. That's what we were talking about when Riley was 6'5" at Houston, which I don't think that will ever get broken. I say that, but not in my lifetime. But I think growing up, he was roping in those sort of situations where you could turn them around in time in 6, like growing up. And so it's not very foreign to him that like, hey, you're the last roper at Houston, 7-2's winning it, which is a new arena record. Like that doesn't faze him because he's been in those similar situations setup wise, barrier length and calf size and all that. So, but what do you think it attributes to the bronc riders? Like just,
man, before I started doing stuff on the internet, we'd be at a rodeo and I remember this one time, I think it was somewhere in Louisiana, and an interviewer came back there, and I was like, yeah, guys, let's go talk to this, because I felt like deep down I subscribed to the notion that, like, rodeo was a dying sport and cowboys were a dying breed. And so I was like, we got to, do the radio stuff, and then the internet came along, and I started making videos, and I began to, part of what I do is, every single day, even this morning, like I check messages and I try to do that. There's some, I don't get on Facebook messages a lot, but like Instagram, Snapchat. And ever since I started doing this, like about that time, 13, 14, like I began to realize like how many people were fascinated with this lifestyle. Well, prior to the teens, like when we, 09, when you got your rookie card, like YouTube was kind of coming along, Instagram came along, I think in 14, Facebook was already kind of going, but Chris Ledoux has that song, like, you just can't see him from the road, meaning like cowboys exist, you just can't see them from the road. And I think that there's always been a fascination with the cowboy lifestyle, whether it's rodeoing or ranching. And now that the internet has come along, people have access to it. Like these little, Donnie, bartender in Missouri, like had no idea, he thought it was cool and saw some stuff on the internet and came to Dale Brisby's house. And then, that's just one example, but I think it happens everywhere. And I think, so now you've got more people here, and with more people doing the sport, it's going to be more competitive.
Yeah.
And you're going to have guys like Riley Webb going 6'9".
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think, and I've said for years, I don't think the sport is dying.
Yeah.
I don't think the cowboy breed is going downhill. I think the opposite. Matter of fact, when we named the Netflix show, they were like, what should the show be about? And I said, I get 20 or 30, 40, 50 messages a day. How do I get started ranching? How do I get started riding bulls? And I think those kids are out there, and this next generation, they love this sport. There's always the tree huggers that are going to be against us.
For sure.
But for every one of those, I think there's a dozen lovers of this industry. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's great. And you're one to know because you've seen, like you said, you go through the messages, you see that. And you think, so when I was a rookie, or the first year I made the finals, 2010, I remember trying to hustle sponsors, being a kid, hey, and the number one thing they would ask me was, exposure, how many times are you guys on TV? And I remember telling them, well, if I do good, I make the finals, I'll be on TV 10 times out of the year, and that's in December. And it's going to be late, but it's going to be on GAC or, something to that effect. But now we're on TV 200 days out of the year with the Cowboy Channel and the exposure. And you can go on the Cowboy Channel and, whether it's, American Hat or whoever, I'm on a commercial once a day, probably with my shirt and my logo. So what I'm asking is, do you think the Cowboy Channel and that has obviously helped extremely with promoting the rodeo world? Or are you more the Cowboy Channel, the people that go to it, or your ranchers? And
I think probably both.
Yeah.
Obviously you get people with the Cowboy Channel, they they love, and you got to subscribe to it.
Yeah.
But Cowboy Channel is fairly recent.
Yeah.
Even compared to 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the Cowboy Channel uses the internet. I think the Cowboy Channel is doing. I think that the internet is helping people get interested in horses in general.
Introducing them.
And then I think the Cowboy Channel more specifically is helping grow exposure for the sport of rodeo.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's probably I think it's a major player in the conversation.
Yeah.
So and there are so many new podcasts and YouTubers and influencers in the space.
Mm-hmm.
When I started making content, it was me and Fallon.
Yeah.
And now there's family ranch vlogs. There's
really?
They're every, and I love it. I think it's good.
Well, yeah,
it's good for, I don't need to be the only one with a microphone. So
yeah, but it's cool that you kind of paved the way for that. In a sense, you're the
I think the main thing
I
think the main thing I had going on early was that I didn't care what people thought.
Yeah.
And I think, I was shirtless at the NFR.
Yeah. Walking around, yeah.
So
the Orleans.
Some of my ways might have changed, but I still, to a certain degree,
that's awesome,
don't care what people think. Dude, what about this crawfish thing? We didn't talk about that enough.
So, man, I just, being from Louisiana, moving to Texas, when I got married and stuff, and we're in between Houston and Austin. And I just, for one, I'm always loved being from Louisiana, love the people, love the food. I'm always,
I know your LSU shirt,
representing, LSU or the Saints or something. So I love being from Louisiana. And when people talk to you about Louisiana, you know, they always mention the people and the food, you know, and that's something that I'm really, you know, proud of and happy to represent. And so I just thought, man, I want to get something going, because I know, like when I was a kid watching all these guys that I grew up, you know, idolizing, after their careers, they never really had much, you know. And so one thing that I was like, look, if I'm going to do this for a living and hoping to be somewhat successful, I never dreamed that I was going to make the NFR 16 times in a row. Like that never came to my thought process. But I did think that if I could make the finals a few times and make some good money, but I needed something to fall back on. I was always mindful of that. I talked to Ty about that the other day. Ty Murray, he came and ate some crawfish in Heiko, and he's like, man, this is so smart that you did this. I said, well, I was so scared that I wouldn't have nothing after I rodeoed. And he said, that's exactly what I was thinking when I was, you know, younger too in my career, which I thought that was pretty cool. But anyways, so I just thought, you know, let's do something that I can still rodeo and have something going, you know. And for me, like the spring, I never really liked to go out west, so crawfish season is a pretty good time of year, February to June, kind of as much as you want to put into it. And so, bareback rider Taylor Broussard made the NFR. Yeah. So his family, huge into the crawfish business.
For sure.
I mean, they're pretty much the needle when it comes to crawfish and stuff. And so his older brother Trey, I don't know if you remember him. But
back in the day.
Yeah. At all 3 rough stock events,
right?
Just, you know. Anyways, I'm really good friends with Trey, and I approached him and I said, hey, I would like to maybe do something. And honestly, dude, if it wasn't for the Broussards and Acadia crawfish, I wouldn't do it, because they have a lot of contracts around my area, and so they bring crawfish. And so the furthest I got to go is 45 minutes, and I pick up my crawfish, my liquid boil, my seasoning, everything from them. And so I don't have to make a 3-hour trip to Louisiana every time I want to sell crawfish. Sometimes the furthest I go is 15 miles from my house, you know, in Brenham. And so that was a huge deal for me. So went over there to their place and kind of got the lay of the land on what I needed to do, how I needed to prepare everything. And yeah, we started in 2019, and we've been going strong ever since.
This kind of like this is about as far as you'll go, huh?
This is the furthest. Yeah, well, I say that. We went to Guthrie a couple times for the BFI. But yeah, we try to stay, you know, generally around the house, but we come to Weatherford to Teskey's twice a year. And, you know, we've been around, and that's one thing that's great about this is now I've got rodeo committees calling me.
Dang.
Wanting me to come set up at their rodeo for the week and bowl and all that. And right now I can't really commit to it because I still want to be Shane Hanchey, the calf roper.
Yeah, you bet.
So, but I think it's so great that they're calling me, and I think when I'm done roping calves, you know, as my main source of income, that I can start branching out and going to these committees and going to these rodeos and cooking for them. And because I mean, I love that too, you know, but I think it's a great foot in the door that they're calling me right now, even though I really can't commit to a lot of it, but I try to do as much as I can, you know.
Are you nervous about another stream of income that involves travel with that little boy?
Oh yeah. That's honestly, this weekend being gone for 3 days, that's what I told Taylor. I'm like, I'm ready to get home, and I ain't even rodeoing yet. Like you know, I'm gonna leave for the summer here in 4 weeks and be gone till September, which they'll come to Calgary and stuff like that. But yeah, man, he's getting to the age now where he don't want to see me leave. He wants to go with me, you know. So that's a whole different dynamic. And everybody that I've talked to said, yeah, it's just gonna get worse the older they get. Yeah. And so you're just like, man, now I know why Trevor was like, hey, when Tristan starts, you know, 8 years old or 7 or 8 years old, when he starts, he said, I'm done. And he was done. You know?
Because, you know, he's still in pretty good rodeo shape.
Oh,
like he could have gone another 10 years. Easy.
He could have made a living tripping and heading, and
he could have got another 10
calves.
World titles.
Oh, he could have, yeah.
Maybe a dozen.
Yeah, and he decided to hang it up. And I understand now. At first, when I was 24 years old and he was talking about that, I was like, how can you? But now, you know, being a dad, it's a whole different dynamic.
What's up, bro tater chip? If you're trying to get swole-o-matic like Dale Brisby, then go to mountainops.com and use code DALE for 20% off. That's where I get my protein. My creatine, I use a pre-workout called Yeti that is phenomenal. They've also got your everyday energy called Ignite. So go to mountainops.com. Otherwise, you ain't no cowboy. And please use code DALE. I wear Shady Rays because they fit my face. They block the sun, they look amazing, and they're affordable. And if you use code DALE on shadyrays.com, they'll be even more affordable to the tune of 40% off when you buy 2 pairs. So go to shadyrays.com and use code DALE. I love you all.
Yeah. They're only young once.
Yeah, and it flies by, man. I mean, that's what everybody says, the days drag on, but the years fly by. And, man, it's crazy. It was, he'll be 2 in May. Got a little girl coming the end of May as well. So it's crazy how fast time flies.
What's his name?
Strand.
What's your little girl's?
She's going to be Sloan.
Nice.
Yep, Strand and Sloan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pretty
cool.
Dang. So how are you sitting right now?
4th. Yeah. I had a good winter. 1 second at Houston. Had the arena record for like 35 seconds.
Oh, yes. I remember that now.
Yeah. Which was funny because Binion was like, come on. You got to get over here for that. I said, dude, Riley Webb has got the best calf and he is last roper. I'm not winning this. And he goes, what, have you not been living right? And I said, I've been living right. I said, but he's the best calf roper in the world and he's got the best calf in the Final Four. He goes, well, what do you think he's going to be? I said, he'll be 7 flat. He's like, no way. I said, okay, watch. And I guess they caught a camera angle of me telling Binion to watch, and he goes 6'5", and I was like, well, shit, I missed it by a half second.
What did Binion say?
Binion just shook his head. He was like, come on, Riley. And I was like, yeah, I told you,
Just
you're not gonna need me. Yeah.
He just switched.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But no, it's been good. I won Tucson, 1 second at Houston, made the short round at San Antonio. So yeah, obviously, 50,000, I think I got 50,000 won.
What big ones do you miss in the spring, though?
Like the California run, like Clovis, Red Bluff, but I've never. So it's like 4 or 5 rodeos, but it's a month time, to be out there.
45 rodeos?
4 to 5.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, 4 to 5 rodeos, but it's a month time being gone, when you're out there in California. And so I'll go to 4 to 5 rodeos in a day in June, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and now with the money, what's crazy is how much rodeo is elevating with their prize money and stuff. Yeah. I mean, there's so many rodeos in June, July, and August that with us only being able to go to count 80 of them for our official count, like there's rodeos that'll be adding 10 or 12,000 that we won't be going to because there's just more that add more money. It's crazy.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah.
I mean, used to, like, if it added 7,500, you were there, an event, Now we'll be driving by rodeos that add 7,500. Just
what? How many can y'all count?
80.
80.
But what sucks is you got to count them before you row.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I wish I could be like, no, I got kicked on that one. I don't want to count that one.
That's a weird rule.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But 80. I mean, I thought that was a good number. Because I'm the calf roping director. I think I've been it since 2021. So we kind of have an inside sight on all that. And I kind of thought 80 was a good number, but the more I think about it, the more it probably needs to be 85-ish, just so you can get to more rodeos. And 5 don't seem like a lot, but it does once you put.
Yeah, if it's September 28th, it does.
Heck yeah.
I get the rule. To me, there's so many instances where it'll be cool to just let a guy go.
Yeah, I mean, when I was young, I was like, man, why do we need a limit?
Right.
But the older guys were like, oh, no, we need a limit. And now I'm like one of the older guys, and I'm like, yeah, we probably need a limit. But really, at the end of the day, Trevor told me this a long time ago, was if you don't have a limit and you show up to wherever, Winnebago, Texas, and it adds 5,000, and Trevor Brazil shows up, what's motivating them to add 10,000? If you're going anyway. So
yeah, that's a good point.
It's almost like, for rodeo count to where like now these rodeos, literally 2 weeks ago, Union, Oregon, they're going on with Sisters, Livermore, Eagle, Idaho. There's a new one in Driggs, Idaho that adds 25,000 all that week. Or Union found out that they're low man on the totem pole, adding 5,000, and they've added 5,000 forever.
Yeah.
As long as I can remember. And they're like, oh, Klamath Falls added, they're going on that weekend, adds 10,000. They're like, ain't nobody gonna enter our rodeo. And we're like, no, you had 5,000. The next day they put in a new proposal, they're adding 10,000 an event. So it's just rodeos like that are like, man, we're low in on the totem pole, bam, we're adding 10 grand too. And now logistically, Union's gonna be easier to work, better to work when you're right there by Sisters and Eagle and all that to make that work more than maybe driving down to Livermore, California. That's only got 2 perfs and a slack Friday morning. So these rodeos are figuring out they need to add a little bit more money, and they're doing it. That's what's awesome, you know?
There's a lot of money out there to be had.
Oh, my gosh. Crazy.
Yeah.
Like Riley won $550,000 last year in
So-
one event.
Will you go to all 80?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yes. Like last year when I was on the bubble, I went to 80.
I guess will you go to more than 80?
Well, probably not. Not per rodeos, but by the time you count the hondos and the fraternities and the amateur rodeos I go to around the house, yeah, it'll be more than 80. But I don't think pro rodeos. I won't unofficial many at all. Like if I go, it's going to count for the world standings. Yeah. But I got a lot of young horses at the house that need to go to amateur rodeos or ropings or even if I do go around the house and unofficial, just to bring them somewhere, you know, for experience. So I got plenty of them that I need to do that too, that I own and train. So I'll do that a little bit this early summer before we strike out.
Did you grow up rodeoing?
Sorta, not really. Like my dad never really rodeoed. My mom didn't, but my uncle lived across the street from me, and he roped calves and he trained cutting horses, and he trains cutting horses still to this day. Well, my older brother got the roping bug from him, and so you kind of want to do what your older brother's doing. And I remember I'm left-handed, so I started roping left-handed, and my brother swapped me to right when I was like 8 or 9.
Are you grateful?
Very. 5 guys have only made the NFR in the calf roping left-handed.
And your brother knew that?
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what he said. He said the odds are well against you.
Dang.
Which I don't even know. It might be whatever, but I don't know if we'll ever see a left-handed guy at the NFR.
As competitive as it is now.
It's just too, so think about it. Everybody's tying the calves right-handed. You go over there, you tie your calves before your perf. Everybody's right-handed. I really think when a left-hander goes and ropes, especially if the calf, like, I don't think the calf's used to it, man. I think it's
It'll
very,
be so
very
different.
big disadvantage to be left-handed.
Dang, that's a wild thought too.
And so, I mean, especially when you got to be short 7 just the way the rodeo is now, I think it's going to be extremely hard for a left-handed calf roper to make the national finals.
Even just a little bit of strain here or there from those calves can add up throughout the end of the year.
Yeah, winning 1st to 8th or 1st to 15th and no money. So, but that's just my opinion. I don't know, could be wrong. But yes, I am grateful that my brother swapped me. So yeah, I kind of started. We didn't have many, like in Louisiana, we had Little Britches rodeos. So I'd go to the Little Britches rodeos and do all the play day events. And I remember in the summer, we'd kind of take our summer vacation to the Little Britches finals in Colorado Springs. And what's cool is like met some guys that I still rodeo with to this day, you know, at the Little Britches finals. And so it was cool to develop those relationships and go there. But I was never really competitive at the Little Britches finals. I was just there kind of on vacation. And then I really didn't, when my brother kind of gave me that horse, Riata, my sophomore year. He was going to work for a ranch down in Okeechobee, and the guy that owned the ranch owned the horse, and he said, hey, if you can find him a place, you can keep him type deal. And I knew that was a once-in-a-lifetime horse, and that's the horse I ended up making the high school finals on, making the college finals on, made 6 NFRs on, won my world title on. So that was I pretty well knew that he was special. And that's when I was like, yeah, I'm done playing baseball. I'm going to devote myself to roping calves. And
Oh, you were that serious about baseball?
oh, yeah. That's all we did was play baseball. We had the same team like since we were probably 9 years old. And I think 4 of them went to the majors. Yeah. Yeah. And so it's pretty cool. But yeah, I was wanting to play baseball for a living. I thought that's what we were doing. And had some awesome coaches. And then, yeah, when I got that horse given to me, I was like, well, the writing's on the wall, you know?
Yeah.
And so I did that. And 16, I was 16 years old when I got Riata. He was 5, I think. So he was young. But that's what's crazy is one thing I tell all my kids from my clinics and my schools is the parents are like, hey, I want to find a horse for my kid. The one thing I tell them is, okay, because your kid is young and green, don't buy a young horse.
They're right.
I mean, that's the total opposite you need to do. And
we're going to learn together.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, that don't work. Yeah. Find you an old campaigner that backs in there every time. It's going to do the same deal every time is what you need. And what's crazy is that was not what I did, but my horse was so special. He was 5, but really, even my brother will tell you, like, I never trained that horse. I just showed him what he had to do, and he picked up on it. I mean, he won Jackson Pro Rodeo on him as a 4-year-old, which is February. So this is a very early 4-year-old.
Fresh 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He won the Pro Rodeo on him. I think he went like 7-6, 7-3. The very next day went to the horse show because that's what my brother did. He showed horses at the AQHA deals. And the very next day went to the horse show and won the horse show on him. Like, he was just that special. And so, yeah, it wasn't like a young horse, green kid type deal. That horse was mature beyond his years. And so to be able to ride him, and then everybody kind of thought, well, once Riata's done, Shane will probably be done, which that's kind of what I learned from Trevor is you kind of got to be ready and learn how to win and ride the next one because, one's not going to last you your whole career. And so I got Bam Bam right after Riata was retired, and it was kind of like a stepping stone, and he was so similar to him. It was crazy, And then from then on out, I've been very fortunate riding great horses.
Yeah. Yeah. What what a blessing to have that removed from the equation.
Yeah, right.
Also, too, thinking back, to the conversation you'd have with your coaches when you quit, 16 NFRs later, obviously, you weren't.
What's funny is one of the coach for the high school was like, I don't think you should do that. Like, you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. And I said, well, I think I need to. And he's like, I think you're going to regret it. Are you sure you want to? And to this day, I still am in contact with him. And he ended up being the principal at our high school. And so he's came to Houston. He's came to the NFR, watched me. So, yeah, it's pretty cool that he has said that he's ate his words quite a few times on that deal. But, no, it's awesome. But, yeah, it's something that you kind of got to look back on and be like, man, it kind of worked out, but there's a lot of times it probably doesn't.
Yeah, there's probably, 999 out of 1,000 times he would have been right.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I have that same thought with a lot of interns that come through.
Right.
And they'll get started at some of them. You're like, all right, you're probably going to have some level of success, but then others will come through and I'm like, man, with what you're saying based on like your drive and how this and that, like, I just don't know if this is, but I'm always hesitant to tell them that because, what if I'm wrong?
Yeah.
What if they could be the next whatever? Yeah. And then all of a sudden I'm that part of their story. But sometimes I'll say it anyway because
they need to know. They need to hear it.
Well, also they can get severely hurt because I'm doing all rough stuff.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I'm like, man, I don't care. Use me as motivation, but I don't think you should do this.
That's what I was about to say. They'll just use it as motivation, hopefully.
And then because one thing I'll never do, like I envy like coaching like a timed eventer because like one thing I do not like, my brother one time in college, we were both going and he was doing good. Well, then he just kind of drank a little beer and was hanging out, doing the college thing and wasn't entering. And so I just entered it in Glen Rose. And he got on one of Frontier's horses, and it bucked. I mean, the rankest horse of the night, of course.
Yeah, it happened.
You know, because he wasn't going to turn out. Like, he was going enough where, all right, I'll go. And he landed on top of his head.
Oh, shoot.
And he was fine, but it was a scary enough moment for me where I was like, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
I'm never going to put somebody in the arena.
Yeah.
And, you know, with timed event, you could almost just be like, all right, no, you got to go rope today.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I just, anyway.
You don't have that pressure of maybe never being able to get out of the arena again or something, you know.
Sure. And so anyways, I think it's a tough but sometimes I do tell people that. But so what, when was it, how quick was it that you said you got Riata when you were 9?
No, when I was in 9th grade, I was like 16.
You started when you were 8 or 9 and then
started roping. Yeah, probably about that. Maybe a little younger than that. And then my brother swapped me to right-handed, started going to the junior rodeos, and then, yeah, so got Riata my 9th grade year, and then made the high school finals 10th, 11th, 12th grade year. And just from there, just went to Hillsboro, made the college finals my rookie year.
Yeah.
And then been rodeoing ever since. 2010 was my first NFR.
Paul Brown was at Hill then, right?
When he? Right. Yeah.
That was before like Sterling and
right before Sterling.
Jake and Brown and them were there.
Well, me and Jake we're the same age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, me and Jake, same age. So yeah, that was all our class. We had a great rodeo team that year. Corey Solomon was the other calf roper. So me and Corey, Jake was riding bareback horses, and we had a slew of bull riders that could strap it on one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I love Paul Brown though, man. He's the best.
Was Rostocki there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I deal a lot with Rostocki now because he's the bull riding event rep, so I talk to him quite a bit.
Rostocki and Jake were maybe the most brilliant minds with remembering animals.
Yeah.
It's so fitting that he's now the bull riding rep because like he can just remember all of them. Jake, as a bareback rider, I would sometimes ask what he thought I should go for rein on a horse, even though he did, because he was just that. He just could just remember all of them.
Yeah, that's awesome. X and 2 a lot.
Oh yeah, baby, you get that a lot. Yeah. Are you like that with calves?
Yeah, I've got a good memory with calves.
Really?
I can see them go once and I'll remember them type deal. I don't need their numbers or nothing. I can just kind of see. I've got a good memory like that. I've always been like that though. People can attest to that, but I think it's valuable for us, you know. Got to know what to kind of expect. I mean, even though they're animals and they could change at any time, if you kind of know what they're going to do, have an idea, I think it prepares you even more.
Do you call around on a calf if you don't know them?
Yeah, I mean nowadays with the Cowboy Channel, what's cool, I don't even have to really call around much. If I see what perf they're in and where they were, I'll just go back to the other rodeo, go to that perf, rewind it, screen record it, watch it. It's really nice.
Yeah, that was kind of cool once that came around because like you'd call a guy about rain and he would just either remember, maybe he wrote it down.
Oh,
maybe
really?
there was an iPhone video.
Yeah.
But now with everybody, they all have them with the Cowboys. I would tell guys here we'd be filming and it's a vulnerable spot because guys are learning on camera. But I was like, man, you better get used to it because Cowboy Channel's at every rodeo now.
Yeah. Camera's going to be right on top of you.
Cameras are everywhere.
Yeah, that's cool. I love bronc riding. Not doing it, but I've got a lot of good friends that ride broncs. Me and Zeke are tight. I'm really good friends with Zeke's cousin, Bo Cooper. And so I've kind of got introduced to the bronc riding world. And then Clay Elliott, he ropes calves now since he broke his neck riding broncs at Guyman. So I've helped Clay a lot roping calves. He's come down to the house and we'll be watching, a rodeo that night or something, and he'll tell me about the bronc rein and what. Yeah, so it's interesting to me. I'm a rodeo fan. At the end of the day, I like all the events. So to learn as much as I can about it, it's pretty cool.
I Snapchatted a guy. He's a cowboy, but not a rodeo cowboy. but I Snapchatted him for like a year and a half, thinking he was the bronc rider Clay Elliott. But he was finally one day, he was like, no, I'm a fireman in Lubbock. And I was like, oh. Or maybe I think I saw Clay Elliott, and he was like, dude, I don't have Snapchat at that time or whatever. And I was like, and then so I messaged that guy. He's like, yeah, I'm a fireman. And anyway, it was a funny.
That's hilarious.
Our Doug is a white.
Yeah.
But, yeah, doesn't Zeke's got a place in Texas.
Yeah, down there
is that
by
close
me.
to you?
Yeah, he's kind of down there by San Antonio. And so he actually brings quite a bit of horses down, and he piddles with some young horses. So I got a lot of like trainer calves, like slow jerseys for those young horses, and he actually every winter he gets a load from me, and so he has something down there to rope. And he never, it's crazy though, he never comes and gets them or brings them back. He's always got somebody that'll come get them. I laugh at Zeke because I'm like, well, he's always got somebody.
Got a runner.
Yeah, always.
He got a runner.
Normally he makes Bo do it, which really makes me laugh because Bo's like, he lives at the house in the winter and he stays busy roping and riding too every day. You know, like he's like, golly, I got to go to Zeke's, bring him some calves. I'm like, tell his ass to come down here. And I think one time, and he's got calves from us like 3 or 4 winters now. I've seen him one time at my place, but it's just how he is. I love Zeke though.
I got some Tufts leftover calves one summer. It was about to take off. I just put them on grass, and I thought we were going to keep doing that, but it was about the time like prices started kind of coming up a little bit. And anyway,
so what'd you do? You like to rope them, or you just wanted to feed them?
No, I just threw them on grass and grew them out. Like just because I knew they were straight. That's what I liked them because it was a set of straight calves that didn't go through the sale barn. Like they had been weaned.
That's how I haven't sold a roping calf at the sale barn in 5 years. I got a guy that buys them because for that reason he knows they're lined out.
Word.
And
because that's the thing, like I think that more people would probably get into the yearling business if they knew that they wouldn't have to doctor them. Yeah. Which there's always a chance that they might still, but man, if they've been roped on and taken care of.
Well, and that's the thing, like for us, like we stress them so much, and that's one thing that I've learned is like, honestly, the half dairy, half beefs have been so great for me. Well, they don't stress as much. You can rope them all day. I'm always got 40 or 50 in my pen to rope, but we're riding 18 to 20 horses a day, roping on them, right? And so that you bring them up, 7, 8 times a day, it stresses those beef calves. They don't like that. And those half dairies, man, they don't stress as much. So you're not doctoring as much, your death loss ain't as much, and it's really awesome. But now also the dairy influence, the half dairies are really expensive now. $1,800 a pop.
Dude, 40 of them suckers?
Yeah.
Just to practice? I do not envy.
Yeah.
Y'all do. Because you know crazy. What? Somebody will give you a bucking horse.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like
just feed them. Yeah.
Those things, like, hey, take this bucking horse. Like if you need a practice. Now, it is hard to find the hoppers.
Right.
You want to find a good one? Like those are not easy at all.
You have to pay a little bit.
But, man, those are.
Well, that's
that
me.
many.
Like I've gotten to where I've figured out that I can make some money, to these guys once they're lined out. And so I roll through a lot of calves just because I got a good place with them. I kick them out on grass after I rope them. So I feed them. They're on a feeder. I got grass I keep them till they're about 4 to 5 weights, and then I sell them. And it's helped my game a lot as far as getting new calves in and out, because the fresher the calves, the better they're going to be, and kind of keeps you sharp too. I don't like to rope a lot of old calves, get you in bad habits, stuff like that. But
man, this is an odd question to ask another grown man, but how much you weigh?
Like 145.
Dude.
Yeah.
How much do the calves weigh?
Oh, shoot. Like the ones at Angelo probably average 280.
Dude, how are you able, how's a 145 man flanking a 280 calf for arena records?
Yeah. Well, the one in Houston didn't weigh 280. The one in Houston probably weighed like 225 maybe, but
Still.
yeah, technique, honestly.
Jerk and clean 225. Like
Yeah.
I've never, like I can't jerk and clean 225.
It's just technique, man. I mean, just repetition. I've always known that I was going to be little, so when I was young, I was like, well, you better figure out how to flank these big calves, because that's the thing about it is rodeo, and especially in the summer, that there's no telling what you'll rope. You know what I mean? So, honestly, having a good horse pulling helps a lot. You know, pulling a horse pulling when you flank is a difference for sure.
Yeah.
And then you just core and legs, and I mean, yeah, I'm not no overly stout guy, you can see, but if you do the right things right, repetition takes care of itself, you know, and the more you do it, the better you become at it. So when you do it wrong, you can feel it. Oh, yeah, I'm not budging them. Yeah, if I got a 260-pound calf and I run in there and my left arm gets straight on the rope,
Or the rope gets slack.
yeah, no, yeah,
The horse steps up.
to where other guys, the bigger guys, you know, it don't really phase them. But guys like me, you got to have everything.
Every now and then in the Brandon pen, a guy will neck one. I mean, necking a little one is whatever, but like those are obvious. But if they neck a big one, I'm just like, man, how do they do this?
I mean, it's a lot different too for me. Like a milk fat big calf that's wide backed, like it's almost crazy, but like the older, more dried out ones aren't as hard to like reach over.
Okay.
And get tilted, unless they're like so old they got tricks, and like so old is like when you go to reach for their flank, they swing away and kind of squat, and then that 260-pounder feels like a 500-pounder from squatting and being, you know, swinging their butt away and having to. So it's just kind of depends on the calf. But yeah, a milk fat, young, stout calf that when you go in there to get a hold of it, is like jumping, and you can't get it's harder than most for sure.
Yeah. Do you roping that many years, that many NFRs, if you had to take off and catch one of your calf or a cow, I guess, you like to tie off outside of the pen now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I got to doctor something at my house, I don't know if I need to plug it, but I'm in my Can-Am all the time. Like that's the only, and so I got the long bed one, the 4 wheels, but the long bed.
So you'll tie off to the Can-Am?
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's such a conversation. You know, I have guys on that are, you know, cowboys, and
yeah,
man, it's a big conversation of like people act like it's just the worst in some parts to be tied off, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, there's some guys on here, some old timers, that they say like they were in their 20s before they ever even saw somebody dally. Guys
really?
from Texas.
Yeah.
And then up north, it's the opposite.
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, I understand both sides of the conversation for sure. I get it. I just feel like a calf roper should be the person that's probably the most comfortable being.
Yeah, I'm a tie on. I ain't dallying.
Yeah.
But also, I don't have no rubber on my saddle horn either, you know, because we got the leather around it, so you can suck it down on your horn knot and stuff. Might as well tie off.
Committed.
One way or the other, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Go down there and get a hold.
So where are you going next?
I'm gonna go to Vegas for the American Qualifier, for the West Regionals.
Are you gonna drive it yourself?
No. I'm gonna send my rig and my horse, and I'm gonna fly. There's like 6 of us sending horses, so
Nice.
kind of split up the fuel a little bit, and we'll go out there for that, and then before long the summer run. Like when we leave in June, we're going till September, so we'll be getting out of the hot, humid weather in South Texas and headed west.
Yeah. And then at some point, maybe Taylor's going to get back on the road.
Yeah, I think so. Well,
do a little Aaron Lyde, Halen Lyde swap.
That's the plan. Yeah, that'd be cool. No, she's a competitor too. So I think once, Sloan comes and all that, she'll want to get back in the roping pen for sure. She loves messing with the young horses and riding them, and putting a pattern on them, and then I'm sure she'll be entered up. Because, you know, the first year she made the NFR in the breakaway, she didn't even have it on her radar. And then we got to the tour finale, and I was like, hey, you got a chance. And she still was like, yeah, it's a long shot, not doing it. And then bang, bang, makes the finals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and so then she's the first woman to ever qualify for the NFR in the breakaway and the barrel racing. So, and then she did it again. She come in that year, she went in 15th, I think. And then the next year, she rodeoed pretty hard, and she went in the top 5. So she's just a winner too, though. That's the best thing about her.
For sure. And when we were at A&M, like, it's for some reason, the women's team at A&M, rodeo team, has always been just lights out. And her and I were there at the same time. It was funny. I can't remember what all year she was there that I was. I know it was a couple, but one year, I don't know if it was, we voted for who was going to be president of the rodeo club, and it was maybe nobody was there, nobody wanted to. A lot of the more adultish type people like Taylor weren't there, but it was like just me and like some other people that were graduating, and so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Well, then the next year, it's like everybody showed up.
Oh,
Jacobs was there, and just this whole slew, Taylor.
Yeah.
And so here I am, like, manning this meeting of, like, very serious adults. I'm planning, like, the all-Aggie rodeo and everything, and they're just, like, looking at me as their leader. And anyways, I just remember sitting in those rooms and seeing mature adults like
That's
Taylor,
funny.
like, why are none of y'all doing this? Why am I the leader of this group?
That's awesome.
Anyway, no, she was one of those people that's just always about to be successful.
Yeah. She's a hard worker for sure. She don't let no grass grow under her feet.
Yeah.
But, that would have been like, I was trying to think the years. I know she graduated high school in 09, so been like 10 through 13 maybe.
Yeah, so I went, I graduated in 09, but I stayed because I had more.
Gotcha.
So I was there 10 and 11.
Yeah, so right when she was there.
It might have been 09 I got voted, and then in 10 is when I was president or something like that.
That's awesome.
And so, that was, anyway. Well, we usually wrap up with life advice.
Yeah.
I don't know 16 NFRs, there's got to be a conversation you have with yourself as you're riding into the arena or.
Yeah, honestly.
A common thought.
Yeah, like for me, you say 16 NFRs, and even I'm like, man, that don't sound right. It seems like yesterday I was a rookie. But 16 consecutive, like I said, I could be done now and look back and have been very grateful for the career I've had. But I think I've always just kind of told myself one at a time, like, don't worry about how many you've been to, like, make it this year type deal. And so that's kind of what I've developed my mindset as, is like, because everybody always seems to come at me and like, man, you made it X amount of times in a row. And I'm like, I don't even pay attention to that. Like, this is my first year. Like, so literally, like, my life advice, probably one day at a time, one step at a time, as far as having a positive attitude and outlook on rodeo. But there's so much more to life than rodeo too, though. Like what I've learned, you know what I mean? Being a dad and figuring out that this is what I do, not who I am, And so that's the biggest thing for me, was realizing a couple years ago that although all I ever thought about was making the finals and winning the world, like, it was almost kind of like a drug at some point. Like, I was only enamored with being relevant and making the finals, like winning the world, being top 5, whatever, winning the American. And then just one day, I think it was after a not so great NFR, which I have had quite a few of those, but just remembering, like, man, this is what I do, not who I am. And the relationships that you get rodeoing, just from us or whatever, more grateful than the buckles are great, but at the end of the day, that's what's important, is what you've gained.
Taylor.
Relationship wise. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If it wasn't for Riata, I would have never met Taylor.
Right.
So it's crazy, as far as I had to catch a ride with them in 13 because Riata was trying to colic on the way to Salinas, so I caught a ride with her. And then, like, if it wasn't for him doing that, I would have never met her.
Yeah.
Now she's my wife and mother of my 2 kids. So great rodeo, man. It's crazy what it'll do.
Yeah, that's wild. Well, congratulations, my man. Looks like you're sitting good this year.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pumped about this crawfish.
Yeah, let's go do it, huh?
Yeah, the last thing I ate was that crawfish yesterday.
Oh, so you're ready.
Teskey's. Yeah, I did that on purpose. I fasted an extra just to get. So
you'll probably put down how many pounds you think today?
Is 8 unreasonable?
No.
Okay.
Not for you.
Because I was thinking 8 or 10.
Yeah.
Was last night 3? Because that was like a warm up.
Yeah, I mean, I would be closer to 4 last night, probably.
Yeah, put me down for 10 today.
Yeah, I think you can kill it. Yeah,
especially if I stay away from the shrimp till the end.
Yeah, and the shrimp is, so that's what I'm saying. The shrimp, don't let that get in your way because you can put that in the fridge and it is better. Honestly, it's better later. But the crawfish, I think you attack it, and that's another thing is I brought 2 extra sacks on the house, so. Yeah, we're ready.
Good. I think we got a couple of people that didn't RSVP. I've never been one to RSVP, but I'm like, now that people aren't, mainly to this.
Yeah.
Like any other event I have, whatever. But my crawfish, I hope the last thing I want to do is be about to start my 10th pound and I only get 9.
No, that ain't gonna happen. That would, what'd be cool? Just make this an annual deal.
Oh, I've already been thinking that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'll schedule it better. I had stuff I had to do yesterday, but I'll schedule it too where maybe it's like on the same day as Teskey's. That way you don't have to like.
Yeah, but if we can come out here, and that's what I was telling my crew was, it's worth it just for the content side of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like grows our business too. So we're down. I'm ready for it.
Cool.
Go do it.
Well, we're on to the next one, old son. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Pow, pow.